Hey guys, I hope you're okay. I know it's been like a week or so, but I'm back with another video. So last time I talked about the best flagship phones released in 2021, and this time I'm heading to the mid-range segment. So these phones, they offer good premium features such as good battery, great cameras, great screen resolutions, but are cheaper for a reason or two. And without further ado, let's head to the video. What's up guys, how you doing? Hope you're having a nice day. I'm Milan and welcome to Fuzitech. If you're new here and like this video, don't forget to click that subscribe button for notifications of more videos like this. So the first phone on the list is Xiaomi's very own Poco F3. This phone offers great features for a very good price, and this is why I put it on the list. If you like Poco F3 NFC, then you like this even much more because it's a bigger upgrade. It goes for about $390 and has some flagship qualities that you can't ignore. On to the design, it's sort of sleek with Corning Gorilla Glass 5 at both the front and the back, a plastic frame, and it's really thin, about 7.8mm to be particular. You've got three colors: Arctic White variant, Night Black variant, and Deep Ocean Blue variant. At the front you get a rather large 6.67-inch AMOLED screen with 1080p resolution and a 120Hz refresh rate. What I liked more about the screen is that it can reach up to a peak brightness of 1300 nits. Now surely by now you should have noticed that some of these are flagship specs, yet they are found in a mid-range phone. Onto the software, the phone comes with Android 11 with Poco Launcher, which is basically MIUI but is closer looking to stock Android than many other Android UIs, which is really awesome. It also has the 7nm Snapdragon 870 processor, which is still new, hence it's quite efficient. Onto the camera, at the back the phone has a triple camera led by a 48MP primary sensor, 8MP ultra-wide and a 5MP macro camera for close-up shots. The selfie camera is 20MP and can record up to 1080p, while at the back the camera can do it up to 4K at 30fps. Onto the RAM and storage, you have two options: 6GB of RAM and 128GB of ROM, or 8GB of RAM and 56GB of storage. The battery is a large 4500mAh one with 33W fast charging. Despite its slimness, it still has a side-mounted fingerprint, which other people would prefer. Now what this phone lacks is a headphone jack, which is quite a bummer because if it had that, I'd rate it higher. Second phone on the list is the Realme 8 Pro. Since 2019, Realme have improved greatly in their devices, and this phone is proof on that. It may be a little bit similar to its predecessor, the Realme 7 Pro, but it has slight improvements that cannot be ignored. First off, straight to the design, the phone has a plastic back, which I always prefer since most glass-backed phones can break easily, especially if you are a clumsy person. It has a massive Dare to Leap logo at the back, which may shun away some potential buyers, but it shouldn't be that serious. With the color options, we have the Infinite Blue variant, Infinite Black, Punk Black, and Illuminating Yellow variant, which is really interesting. At the front, it has a 6.4-inch Super AMOLED HD Plus screen with the standard 60Hz, which is not bad but seems less than average compared to what its counterparts are offering at the same price. Straight onto the software, the phone has the usual Android 11 with the extremely customizable Realme UI, which I personally like, although it always looks like a refined version of Oppo's ColorOS. Much to my disappointment, the phone comes with the same 8nm Snapdragon 720G chipset, which was in its predecessor last year, the Realme 7 Pro. Despite its flaws, Realme really outdid themselves in the camera department this time. At the back, it has a quad camera, with the primary sensor being the 108MP Samsung HM2 sensor, 8MP ultra-wide, 2MP macro and 2MP depth sensors. The selfie camera is a 16MP sensor that can shoot up to 1080p, while the main camera can shoot up to 4K at 30fps. To the RAM and storage, the phone has 128GB of storage, and you can choose between 6 to 8GB of RAM. It has no other option of storage. It has 4500mAh battery with a 50W fast charging, which is more than enough. Next phone, we have the Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite, the younger sibling to the likes of Xiaomi Mi 11 Ultra, Mi 11 and Mi 11 Lite 5G. The design of this phone is nice, and its outstanding feature is its slimness. It's 6.8mm thick, which is really nice. You get 3 variants: Boba Black, Peach Pink and Bubblegum Blue. At the front, it's protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5 and has a 6.55-inch FHD plus AMOLED screen with a 90Hz refresh rate. The phone has Android 10 with MIUI 12 and is powered by the 8nm Snapdragon 732G, whose performance is really good. Fast forward to the camera department, it has a triple back camera with the primary sensor being a 64MP with an aperture of 1.8. Other cameras are the 8MP ultrawide and the 5MP macro. The selfie camera is 16MP and can record up to 1080p, while the primary camera reaches 4K at 30fps. Onto the RAM and storage, you have 6 to 8 gigs of RAM and 64 to 128 gigs of ROM. It also has a 4250 mAh battery with a 33W fast charger. The fingerprint is also side mounted, and if you like that, you can check this phone out. It comes at a price of about $350, and looking at that, I think it's value for money. Next phone is the Redmi Note 10 Pro, and as you can see from the name, it's another from the high number of Xiaomi devices that have been released this year. Straight to the design, the phone is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5, both at the front and back, and it has a plastic frame. It comes with 3 shades: the Onyx Grey, Glacier Blue and Gradient Bronze. At the front, we have a massive 6.67-inch Full HD AMOLED screen with a 120Hz refresh rate. This automatically makes it a great display, which is fast, hence efficient. Onto the software, the phone has Android 11 and MIUI 12 and is powered by the 8nm Snapdragon 732G chipset. Apart from the bloatware and ads, I personally think MIUI is just fine, although I know this is an unpopular opinion. Jumping straight to the camera, at the back it has a quad lens camera system with a 108MP primary sensor, an 8MP ultrawide, 5MP macro and 2MP depth. The selfie camera is a 16MP camera that can record up to 1080p, while at the back, the camera reaches 4K. If you want RAM and storage options, you have 6 to 8 gigs of RAM and 64 to 128 gigs of ROM. Its battery is 5000 mAh with 33 watts of fast charging. It's priced at about $300, and I think it's the best value for money comparing to with all these other phones. Now the last device here is Samsung Galaxy A52 5G, and first off, I'd like to think that this will go down as one of the best-selling smartphones of 2021 because it can only be defined by one word: awesome. On to the design of this device. At the back, it's plastic, which seems beautiful and durable. One of the good things about plastic bags is the lack of fingerprints, which is really satisfying. It comes with 4 variants in terms of color, which are Awesome Black, Awesome White, Awesome Violet and Awesome Blue. And when you look at the colors, they bring around an aura of joy and awesomeness. Anyways, at the front, we have a 6.5-inch Super AMOLED screen with a 120Hz refresh rate and is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5. It is also IP67 water and dust resistant. The software of this phone is also amazing. It comes with the usual Android 11 and the latest version of Samsung's own One UI 3.1. The phone is powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon 750G chipset, which is really awesome. Onto the camera, at the back it has a quad lens camera with the primary lens being 64MP, 12MP ultrawide, 5MP macro and 5MP depth. The selfie camera is a 32MP shooter, and both of the front and back cameras can take the videos at 4K up to 30fps. The in-display fingerprint reader is real quick and efficient. The phone also has 6 to 8 gigs of RAM and 128 to 256 gigs of storage space, which is more than enough. The battery is a 4500 mAh with 25W fast charging, and they complement each other very well. This phone, its price ranges from between $450 to $500, and that's great. You must have already noticed that I've not covered even a quarter of the good phones in this category. These are my personal best, but obviously there are some honorable mentions such as the Galaxy A72, Galaxy A52, Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite 5G, and many others. We still have 8 more months this year, and there's much more to be released. Companies such as Oppo have announced new devices that will be released later on this year, and we hope they will be of good competitive quality. Anyways, that's all for today, and if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. I have another one for budget devices coming next week, and if you didn't watch the one for flagship phones, I leave the link down below. I know I've not posted for like a week or so. I've been doing my exams and I'll also miss this coming week, but I'll be back from next weekend on Saturday or Sunday, and I have new things that I'm excited to show you. So thanks for watching. I'm Milan and this is Fuzitech. Catch you in the next video.